All right, so Dana was mad after UFC 282. Okay, I watched his press conference and he was mad. He was especially mad about the main event.
Let's give us your thoughts on the main event.
What are you going to do? I think the main event was terrible.
And I want to talk about that because he said some things about that. He said some things about the Patty fight. And then he, just all of a sudden is like, yeah, and Glover Teixeira is fighting Jamal Hill for the vacant title at UFC 283. And there's a lot to unpack here. Jamal Hill was already booked to fight Anthony Smith. Dana didn't even know that. He talked about it in the press conference. His interpretation of the main event was really interesting to me. And somehow I just basically in real time got all of these like pieces to put together. And I was like, man, this is a good video because this must have been chaos back there. So yeah, I want to unpack all of that and then tell you how we ended up with that fight at UFC 283. And then again, I really want to go over what Dana said about the main event because I don't know. I didn't see it the way that he did. Now, before I do, this is a gentleman's agreement on this channel. If this is your second video or more, you have to subscribe to the channel. You subscribe, you can watch all of my content. It's free. It's free. But you have to subscribe, and then you have free access to every single video I've ever done and more. And you should check out Jesse on Everything, too. That's my even better channel. 22,000 subscribers and growing, dude. We're getting there. I talk about everything that's not mixed martial arts over there. Same agreement, though. You know, the jar at the front of the store, take the candy, drop the quarter in. It's the honor system. You just have to subscribe. Also, I'm going to go ahead and throw an ad in here at some point. I don't know when, but just know that these guys sponsored this video and you're going to see an ad somewhere. Just bear with it and give it a look. And then don't skip the ads, dude. I mean, you know, if you can stomach it. Anyway, so here's exactly what happened here. Okay, so first, you know what? I just want to start with how Dana interpreted the fight because Dana thought that the main event was like the worst fight ever, you know? And I will say this, I was watching without the sound on. And so I was just interpreting the fight as I would have interpreted the fight on its own. And I guess I could talk about the decision also. Because, you know, like again, I think all of you guys saw the fight and you may not have seen Dana's press conference. So maybe I should start there. Like Dana literally, I mean, like I have a pretty good gauge on Dana's kind of like what makes him excited about a fight, not excited. And unless I am misreading the room, it basically comes down to the crowd. Like if the crowd's going crazy, Dana is stoked, right? And you can understand if you've been to shows live, you understand, and especially if you've been to a lot of shows live, you understand. It's like when there's a boring fight, there's this energy in the stadium that's like, it's just stale, dude. It's just stale energy. And everyone's like, come on. Like, you know, someone who like keeps taking the guy down and like not really doing much. Like when they take the guy down again, the whole place, just like the air gets sucked out of it. People all start going, woo! If you've ever been live, you know that sound, dude. Woo! Woo! And everybody does it. That means I'm bored, you know? It's better than booing though, dude. I hated when people booed. Oh, by the way, thank you to the nice gentleman that sent me this gift that I'm wearing right now. But anyway, so yeah. So this fight, as I interpreted it, was a really close fight that, Ankalaev had to fight through some serious adversity. His leg was obviously seriously compromised. And so he took the fight to the ground. I mean, like, I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a really good fight. I wasn't bored. I mean, I will say, like, in the final round, it looked like Jan just didn't have anything left for Ankalaev, and Ankalaev is trying to, he's trying to secure a victory. He had a 10-8 round. The final round was a 10-8 round. It's a 10-8 round. How could a 10-8 round be like a terrible round for anybody? Like, if a round is a 10-8 round, that means someone got their ass kicked. Like, there are no boring, like, super boring 10-8 rounds, at least as... But again, Dana was emphatic. He said it many, many times that the main event was terrible. He was like, it's terrible. He's like, someone asked him a question about the fight. He was like, I don't know. I tuned out halfway through. I was like, really? Like, I don't know. Again, I couldn't hear the commentator, so maybe that was like the consensus, but I just didn't see it that way. But anyway, so then he's like, Oh, and now Jamal Hill. How about we do Jamal Hill against Glover Teixeira for the vacant title at UFC 283 in Brazil, which is the next main event. Now, when I first heard that, okay, I thought to myself, oh, Ankalaev must have said something to Dana that really pissed him off. Or Ankalaev might have said something in the octagon that really pissed him off, because Ankalaev said, I don't know if I'm going to fight for this organization anymore. Where's my belt, right? Now, one more time for the people in the back. If you're looking for a present to buy your friend, your guy friend for Christmas, I cannot recommend Sheath underwear more stringently. And I am going to show you guys some B-roll that I had Bobby the Bank send me. He owns Sheath. And just like me and the MMA Holes and Chael and all these other amazing channels that support and are sponsored by Sheath, we're all wearing them, dude. We're all wearing them. And I'm telling you, get on the train. Because I know when I pick my underwear, I'm like, I wonder what kind of underwear Connor's wearing. And if it's a Sheath, I'm putting it on. What do you think Khabib wears? They're all Sheath. I'm like, I knew it, dude. If Khabib's wearing it, I'm wearing it. So that's kind of how I make those decisions, and hopefully you guys do too, because Sheath is what I'm wearing. It's what Chael's wearing. It's what the MMA Holes. It's what Chris is wearing. That's what it is. So use the promo code in this thing, and you can get yourself some. And then you could sit back and watch this amazing video I'm about to tell you. Use the code FIRE for 20% off. Sheathunderwear.com, FIRE. You got to understand, man, okay? If you're a UFC fighter, actually, if you are a fighter in an not even, you know what? If you're a fighter in an organization, or you're an employee at a company, or you're a freelance person at a company, your words matter. Like, your words really matter. So you could say, you know, especially if you don't speak the language. So especially if you don't speak the language, be very careful with what you say. You know, because then, like, you could say, I don't understand. I won that fight. I don't know what to say. I won the fight. Everyone knows I won the fight, right? You say that. You don't say, I'm not going to fight for this organization anymore. I'm not going to fight for this organization. Like, you really think the organization is rigging the game against you for Jan Blachowicz? You know what I mean? Like, at least in the previous fight with Gordon and Patty, you could say, like, there's a reason why the organization would want Patty to win, you know? And that ended, I watched the Weasels breakdown on that. That ended up being a lot closer than I thought. But nonetheless, I will comment on that in a second, though, about the Patty thing. Actually, man, I should do another video. I don't know. I have actually just one comment about it. I think Patty appears to be losing because when he gets hit hard, he has his head up and his hair flies around. So it looks like he's getting like hit super solid anytime he gets punched. I think, honestly, I really think that his hair is doing him a really big disservice, because it goes like it's like he gets hit and it's like, whoosh, and it looks like his head's getting snapped. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. He did lose that fight, though. But anyway, so yeah, like you say, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to fight for this organization anymore. Okay, like, this is the UFC is Dana's baby, dude. Okay, like I don't know how many times I could say this, and it's not like I expect Ankalaev to have seen any of my videos, but it's like, to everybody, I cannot stress this enough, man. If a person owns a company, like if they founded the company, or, you know, in Dana's case, they bought a tiny little thing and turned it into what it is, talking negatively about it is the same as speaking negatively about their kid. And I'm not exaggerating that. Like, I'm not exaggerating that. It's that important to them. The founder of the company, like the main guys, if you talk you may as well just be like, I don't want to fight for this organization because I think that Dana White's kid is a piece of trash. I don't want to fight for an organization that has kids that are so ugly and stupid. It's like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, don't talk negatively about the UFC as a UFC fighter. It's just not smart. Certainly not publicly. Because like I said, Dana obviously is, his entire, like, if who understands a fight business better than Dana? Nobody, right? Nobody. And so Dana understands that the success of the business hinges on the public. It doesn't hinge on the fighters, doesn't hinge on it hinges on the public's opinion. It's as simple as that. Like the public's opinion. Are we excited to watch a UFC fight? Are we excited to see this person fight? Will we pay money to go to the thing? Will we pay money to buy the pay-per-view? And so what you say about the organization matters. And so if you say a thing like that in the octagon, you might really piss Dana off. Now, when Dana announced the Teixeira and Jamal Hill fight, I thought to myself, I bet you that Ankalaev and Dana had an exchange backstage that Dana did not like. Because, first of all, there is no possible way that he could have been planning to do Jamal Hill against Glover Teixeira at UFC 283 for the vacant belt, because the belt was supposed to be on the line last night. So he had to have literally made that decision inside the previous hour. So like he's at the press conference within the last hour, he had to have made the decision like, yeah, we're going to do Glover Teixeira against Jamal Hill. And he said, it's done. He's all, yeah, that fight's done. No, it's not. That fight's not done. That's impossible. That's impossible because Jamal Hill is booked to fight Anthony Smith in the main event on February, 15th or whatever. So it's impossible that it's done. It's impossible that it's done, right? So again, that seemed like such a rash decision from Dana that I'm like, something must have happened. But I think now in hindsight, what might have happened is just Ankalaev, like Dana thought the fight was boring. And then in the on the microphone, Ankalaev shit on the organization, and he's just like, bro, you are. So I was on IRL last night doing my live chat, which if you guys haven't joined my group yet, the link is in the description. It's like a Discord, but it's an IRL. The app is called IRL. It's awesome. So I was on there, and me and Johnny Walker were live chatting to a big group of people during the UFC, and Johnny Walker is like, boring. Like this is when we thought, after the fight when everyone thought Ankalaev won, and he was like, boring champ. And all these people jumped down his neck, like jumped down his throat. They're like, boring, like Ankalaev's, and he's like, and he said something like, well, let's see his post-fight reaction. And then all these guys keep talking about Ankalaev fighting. I knew exactly what he meant. And I was like, he doesn't mean he's a boring fighter. He said he's a boring champion. Okay? You could be an incredible fighter and be a boring champion, Stipe Miocic, right? Like that. And so that's the whole thing. Like you think Dana doesn't understand that metric? So Ankalaev is boring. If he learned to speak English, he wouldn't be. Khabib would have been boring if he didn't speak English. And Khabib's the least boring guy ever. You need to learn to speak English if you're serious about, getting all the way. But so, yeah. And then like once I said that, Johnny was like, exactly. He's like, exactly. He's a boring champion. And so Dana's like, this guy doesn't really have any value. He's shitting on the company. He had a boring ass fight. Fuck him. Because I think if he would have played his cards right, they would have treated him as if he was the champion because he obviously won the fight. Well, I mean, I thought he won the fight. I thought he won the fight. But anyway, so Dana announces Teixeira and Hill at UFC 283, right? So Anthony, I was watching iPad and I had my phone, right? So I'm watching Dana's press conference and I'm watching Anthony Smith on ESPN at the same time, right? I can't remember which one I saw first, but I saw these. Actually, I do remember. I saw ESPN first. So I was watching Anthony in his post-fight show. And because Dana said it in the press conference, which we subsequently found out, Dana didn't even know that Anthony and Hill were already booked to fight. He didn't even know. Because someone asked, they were like, so what are you going to do about the main event, the fight night card where Anthony Smith was set to fight Jamal Hill? He's like, oh, they were set to fight? And they're like, yeah. He's like, oh, news to me. He didn't even know. And so Anthony is sitting on ESPN live, and John Anik is like, yeah, so I mean, this is really bizarre to do this while you're on air, but Dana just announced that Jamal Hill is going to be fighting Glover Teixeira for the belt at UFC 283. And Anthony's live on set, and he finds out that his fight got taken away from him, which is not a small deal at all. Anthony's coming off a really serious injury. He's got a fight against, a top 6 guy that's a really like big time contender. And if it does turn out that he actually lost that fight, you look at the rankings, there's like, he gets completely fucked because Ratchik is hurt. Jan Blachowicz just fought. Glover's fighting. Hill is fighting. Yuri's hurt. And Ankalaev and Jan are like, there's no one for him to fight. And so like, he's going to have to go down. He's going to end up having to fight like the 9th ranked guy. He handled it. It was crazy. Cause like that, I mean, He literally, you could just see Anthony's a hard guy to rattle, dude. Like, he's obviously, and he kept an incredible poker face. Incredible. But I could tell. I was like that was a shock to the system for him for sure. That's really, that's rare, dude. That's very rare when that happens, dude. Like when someone has a set fight and they get it taken away. So, he said it's done. It's impossible that it's done, right? It's likely to happen because if you're Jamal Hill and the organization wants you to fight for the title, what are you going to say no? And Glover obviously wants to do it. So, I mean, it will probably happen, but I'm sure Dana will take care of Anthony. Because again, he didn't even know, he didn't even know. But yeah, anyway, it was weird, man. And then when Dana was talking about the Patty Pimblett and Gordon fight, I watched the Weasel's breakdown. I love when the Weasel does Who Really Won. I love it. I love those videos. I love them so much, dude. Because honestly, it's like it's the only thing that feels definitive. Like if the Weasel does it, it's like, all right, that's definitive, dude. I mean, I'm not saying he's like foolproof, but those videos are so solid, dude. Where you're like, all right, because the 10-9 must system is so fucking stupid for MMA. It's so stupid. I cannot stress this enough, dude. I go fight in a jiu-jitsu tournament. Okay, I get 2 points for a takedown, 2 points for a sweep, 4 points for mount. Like, all these different, like there are simple points allocated for position changes, for attempted submissions, you get advantage. All this stuff is like, and that's jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is way harder to score than a striking match, right? So if you could figure out a simple pointed format for jiu-jitsu, why can't you do that for MMA, dude? You know what I mean? Like, just give takedowns a point value. Just give them a point value. Give sweeps a point value. Give strikes a point value. You can have significant strikes like, be 4 points and regular strikes be 2. I mean, but just figure out a point system so we can all stop feeling like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. It felt like blah, 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 blah. But when the Weasel did that breakdown and he said Gordon did win, it was way closer than I thought. I thought Gordon definitively won. I mean, I was not, I couldn't hear the commentators. So, I don't know what they were saying, but on my side, it seemed very obvious that Gordon won. But then, I was talking to Pat Barry about this morning, actually, about how like what I said earlier in the video. I think that Patty appears to get rocked more than he's actually getting rocked because of his hair. I mean, also his style. He's got the head straight up thing. But and I think his hair, moving is making it look like he's getting hit harder than he is. Or he just has an absolutely granite chin. Either way, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. One thing that was really funny, though, really funny, I should probably put this in another video, actually. Is there another video here? Yeah, there probably is. I'll do another one. I'll do a Patty in this one because this is actually really, really, really funny. It's another thing from Dana's press conference. Dana's press conference, and then what Gordon said, and then what Patty said is Anyway, I got a lot more videos coming today, so subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Love you guys.